Welcome back to another installment of Purple Rain Report. Once again, welcome back to another Purple Rain Report. It is great to see your faces, not in the live chat, but we will be back soon. And to talk about some
Yes.
Ravens football and some NFL football. Championship week is upon us.
Oh
Final
yeah.
four. Final four, I think, probably the four best teams left, to be honest. The four best, definitely well deserved. We'll get into that. But first and foremost, you can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast for polls, for questions, for all that good Ravens news. It's all there.
Hmm.
Follow this guy on Instagram, on Twitter at Sutton Def. Follow me on Instagram at simplyas10.prod and Twitter at simplyas10. And most importantly, sponsor, Manscaped. Use code PRP, 20% off your whole order for anything. You want boxers? Got it. Grooming accessories? Got it. Travel bag? Got it.
Mm.
Cream? Got it. All of it. Manscaped. Code PRP. Oh, you gotta pull it out? There it is, a travel bag.
Speaking of that travel bag, oh my
Great for
goodness,
vacation.
love this thing.
Great. Great. I mean, if you want to get
Love
it,
this.
code PRP. There you go.
The crop
Crop preserver.
preserver. Oh yeah, ball deodorant. Y'all see it? Y'all
Yes.
see it?
I mean, what more
They
can you
got the
say?
whole nine. Exactly. What else they got in here? The crop reviver, a ball toner. All right, fellas. I know
Telling the
y'all are out
bulls.
there. You know what I mean? You want to step up that
But
personal hygiene? Order from Manscaped. 20% off, free shipping. PRP.
that's simple. So thank you again for coming through to another episode of the Purple Rain Report, and we have a little bit to talk about since last time we talked. So Ravens OC,
Mm.
big news.
Yeah.
It's a vacancy, one of like 10 or 11 it feels like. Um,
Hmm.
Interviewed some names. How are you feeling about the names that are being spun around?
So to be honest with you, a lot of the names that are being spun around are, people I don't really know personally. I haven't done my deep dive, my research on them, but what I do know is that it is very refreshing to hear that the Ravens are actually doing their due diligence early on this. They're trying to get this out of the way. I respect that wholeheartedly. You mentioned a specific name, Rams, right?
Yeah, yeah,
What was it,
yeah.
quarterback coach or
Quarterback coach or pass game? I know he's
passing coordinator?
part of both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zach Robinson from the
yeah,
Rams, right?
yeah.
Underneath that Sean McVay. My guy
Mm,
Alex is really into that pass game coordinator. I mean, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Now I know a lot of Ravens fans. There was a guy that they interviewed a couple days back. He was like a run game coordinator, and the timeline just absolutely panicked. I'm talking
yeah,
like Ravens fanatics were going off. They were panicking. Ravens beat writers, they were panicking. It was like
yeah.
almost like what is it? You just have like a flash of just stress and trauma.
Yep.
That's what you can tell. That's what
Yeah.
Ravens fans were like. But what's your thoughts overall so far on the new hunt for offensive coordinator?
So seeing the names, I'm gonna bring up some of them. So we have Zach Robinson, obviously. The
Right.
Browns wide receivers coach Chad O'Shea. I believe he worked for the Dolphins. He was their OC in 2019. I saw some Dolphins fans say like he really wasn't the problem. They just didn't have any type of talent on that offense. He had Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback.
Mm.
That one kind of can be like a low key signing, but I really wouldn't take anybody from the Browns. That's just my personal preference. The quarterbacks coach from the Seahawks, Dave Canales, that one was interesting. He's been huge in helping Geno Smith, develop. Wouldn't hate that either. And then I saw, Frank Reich. Wouldn't hate that. Eric Bieniemy and Byron Leftwich, two really interesting names. I don't see why Bieniemy would leave the Chiefs for the same position. He would have
Mm.
more power because I know Andy Reid has a lot of power in offensive play calling. But
Yeah.
that definitely was surprising. If they could somehow pull Bieniemy, that's a huge step. But we'll have to see. But so far, with what I'm seeing, it's more garnished towards the pass game, which
Yes.
we've been calling for how long? How
Right.
many years?
I mean, it's very promising, and like I said, they're doing their due diligence early on this. Not only are they, interviewing a bunch of guys, but to your point, they're interviewing a lot of pass game coordinators. They also said
Yeah,
last week in the season-ending presser that hey, receiver is going to look brand new. It's going to be a makeover next year. So you can tell the intentions of this team in this front office where they are right now, and it's very promising, very positive. I'm feeling very optimistic about it. Not sure who will hire at this point, but I'm sure that they'll hire somebody who is going to evolve the passing game. That's the
Yep.
biggest thing. We got run game down pat. We have the last
Easy.
damn near decade, and if I
Yeah.
want to be more specific, 3-4 years ever since we got Lamar Jackson, we've been top 3, top 5 in rushing like it's nothing. But passing, we've been bottom half of the league consistently, and like we always say, it's all about balance. You got to be able to balance that run and that passing attack, especially. I can't stress this enough, especially in the playoffs, right? You can't just lean on the run against these high-powered, high-octane teams and offenses who are just going to put up points on you,
You've been
right?
watching the games. I mean,
Yeah,
they don't run all over them. They got to pass too. Even the Eagles, they're a run
yeah.
first team, but they can throw that ball. Golly.
So, yeah, those are overall thoughts on offensive coordinators so far. Any more news that comes out, we'll continue to
Yeah.
update you guys on our live shows, on our Purple Rain reports like you see now. But now we're going to get into, since we didn't talk to you guys on Monday, we're going to review some of the divisional games that happened
Yes.
last week. They're a very interesting set of games.
Yes.
Like I was telling my guy Alex before we went live, I swept the picks last week. I swept the picks, man. I got every single one of them right. Chiefs beat the Jags, Eagles beat the Giants, Bengals beat the Bills, 49ers beat Cowboys. But I
Yes.
want to kind of go through each one of these games and give like what you took away from each game. So Jaguars
Okay.
at Chiefs, what did you take away?
Patrick Mahomes, hurt or not, can score. Even if
Mm,
Chad Henne comes in, they can score. Uh, Chiefs defense is very. It's like Swiss cheese. A lot of holes. Lots of holes.
yeah.
Something to keep an eye out. That's what I took away. The Chiefs defense is bang average. And Mahomes has to play Superman like Lamar does every single week.
Yeah. I mean, but Mahomes he's out there doing it, man. You saw that
Yeah,
touchdown off that little hopping touchdown off the one
he's
foot.
so good. Yeah, he's
He's
different.
so good, man.
Different.
And it's just like the fact that the Jaguars could not pull out that game. I don't think it necessarily speaks so much to, um, what the Jaguars can't do, but it just speaks more to what the Chiefs can do. And
Yeah,
even if they have a hobbled Patrick Mahomes, as long as he's out there, because listen, I watched that entire game from start to finish. As soon as he got hurt, I saw the play he got hurt. I was like, oh, they got to take him out. They got to take him out.
yeah,
Get him out of the game. You cannot put him back on that football field.
yeah,
He was literally hopping around on the next play, trying to just hand the football off to Pacheco. And it's
yeah,
just I was just thinking, there's no way he finishes this game. Sure enough, he does. Has what, 2 touchdowns?
yeah,
It's just insane, man. It's just
yeah.
insane. But it'll
Different.
be interesting to see what they do next week. All right, moving on. Giants at Eagles. So obviously the Eagles blew the Giants out of the water, 38-7. What was your biggest takeaway from this game?
The Eagles were what we should have been a couple years ago. They did not have
Talk
that
about it,
meltdown.
Alex.
They looked prepared. They
Yeah.
just came out firing. They didn't underestimate their opposition. Kept their foot on their throats and just no mercy. No
Yeah.
mercy at all. Going for two when you're up 24-0. I mean, they had Daniel Jones's contact lenses falling out there playing that hard. I mean,
Ooh.
Eagles. There's a reason why they're the 1 seed. They look good.
Yeah. They look
Yeah,
really, really good. And not to mention their quarterback is not 100%. I know Jalen
yeah.
Hurts is out there on the field, but he's not 100%.
No,
Um, Still managed to get 2 touchdowns, 154 yards passing. Daniel Jones, the jury is still out on Daniel Jones, I
yeah,
guess. The Giants said that they would like to move forward with him as their quarterback, but
yeah,
it feels like he may have a ceiling. I don't know. I don't think he's Josh Allen. If he had any sort of like, if he was going to be any better, I feel like he'd be Josh Allen, you know. But I
yeah.
don't think that he's there yet. So, or I don't know if he'll get there at all. Maybe he's just a guy. But that's that game. Let's go ahead and move on. Bengals at Bills. Now, this one was probably the most interesting game of the week to me. I know you
Yeah.
have a lot to say about this. I'm going to just say this real quick. Joe Burrow is that dude, man. And I know you guys hate me for it. The Rain Gang hates me for it. The Ravens flock, they hate me for it. But I'm going to keep saying it, man. Joe Burrow, he is an ace of a quarterback. It does not matter if he does not have a star-studded offensive line. Yeah, he's got some receiver help. But, I mean, he's got a head coach on his second year coaching, second or third year in Zach Taylor, and just doing this like over and over again. We're talking beat the Chiefs 3 times in a row, right? Maybe about to be a
Yeah.
4th time in a row.
Could be.
2 back-to-back AFC Championship games, maybe 2 back-to-back Super Bowls. When are we going to give the Bengals the credit that they deserve as like they're literally kings of the North? I'm sorry, kings of the North.
See what happens when you help your quarterback out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think right now, hot take, they're the best team in the league. I just don't see how you can argue with that.
Mm.
Um, this is me just being a realist, like just not a Ravens fan. They've won how many games in a row? They went into Buffalo with the bad weather and beat them. I mean, I don't see how
Yeah,
you can really argue with it. Yeah, I don't like them, but you got to show respect at some point. I
got to
mean,
show respect.
that's just
Yeah.
I don't like them because I'm a Ravens fan, So, but at some point you got to be like, they're a really good team. They have a really. I think he's probably number 2 behind Mahomes,
Mm.
and it's going to be the best 2 quarterbacks right now going off against each other.
And I was going to say we're going to get into the conference championship games in
Yeah,
just a second here. I'm going to ask you another question about that. But what were you saying about Josh Allen before we went live?
at some point you got to talk about Josh Allen on Fraud Watch. You do. I mean, the way they tout this guy. I mean, they tout him above Burrow. It feels like sometimes. Josh Allen made a Super Bowl. They changed the playoff rules for the Bills with the OT stuff, and they couldn't even sniff beating the Bengals at home in the snow, in your weather, in Orchard Park weather. And you dropped a stinker like you have Stephon Diggs yelling at you. Stephon Diggs, come back home. Come back to Baltimore. If you don't want to be with him, we're going to get a whole new offense. You can come here. You can be the man. I mean, I didn't watch the full game. I caught bits and pieces, but Josh Allen didn't look himself. I don't think I think the elbow is actually like seriously messed up. And it could be the beginning of the end. I don't want to say it is, but he just did not look right. And he hasn't looked right, even against the Dolphins. Turning the ball over in playoffs, calling him January Josh, no. Take that away. Take that away.
Yeah, I mean, me honestly, I don't think that this is the beginning of the end at all for Josh Allen. I think that the Bills organization, they love him. They love them some Josh Allen. Bills Mafia loves Josh Allen. He can do it all pretty much. I mean, he can run, he can throw. He's a good quarterback,
Very good.
And I think if anything, they would get rid of McDermott before Josh Allen. That's typically how it goes. You have a star quarterback and then a head coach. If those two things aren't getting it done, the head coach always goes first, especially in teams that consider themselves in win now mode. Maybe a new offensive coordinator, who knows? But I don't think Josh Allen's going anywhere, man. I think
This
he's
is
going to get built
elbow.
for life.
That's something you got to watch about. I mean, I know when Ben hurt his, I know it was the end of the year, but he couldn't throw the ball far. Just those elbow injuries with quarterbacks. Remember how he kept them out and like, oh, well, it could be Tommy John, this and that. He just looked really inaccurate. Maybe it could have been the weather. I know he's obviously a top 5 quarterback when healthy, but that's the game they should be winning. I think as a neutral, you're at home, the run they were on, the team they have, and they just couldn't put it together. So who knows? But I see them winning the division. They'll be back in the playoffs next year.
Yeah. In the last game from the divisional weekend, Cowboys at 49ers. This was a kind of a slugfest till the very, very end. 49ers beating the Cowboys 19-12. What were your thoughts on that one?
How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? What was that
They gonna
final
mess it
play
up?
they ran? That was Zeke at center?
Oh my, yeah, Zeke at center. I don't know what that was all about. I think they threw it like a check down to Cavante Turpin, and he just got drilled immediately. But and then Zeke just all I saw on that play really was Zeke just getting plowed over, playing center. It was just sad to watch. I wonder what was going through his head, like Zeke Elliott's head on that play, like before that ball was snapped.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because just like this is our very last chance. If we don't miraculously score a touchdown on this play, we're going home for the season for 7 months, right?
Yeah.
And here I am, Zeke Elliott again. I'm talking first person from him. Here I am getting ready to block a nose tackle. like, what am I doing here? Like, I didn't get that one. I didn't get.
And then you have Dalton Schultz with no awareness. I mean, catching the ball and not getting 2 feet in.
He got 2 feet in, but he got knocked backwards before he went out of bounds. So
there was one too.
Progress. Yeah.
There's one too where he only got 1 foot in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I do remember that.
That's just on him and coaching. Like, if the Cowboys they're their own worst enemy sometimes. I mean, Niners defense played awesome. I mean, amazing. Probably the best defense left. I don't know. Them and the Eagles, it's going to be a good game. So while we're talking about that, let's get into the predictions right now.
Let's go ahead and get into our picks. Yeah.
Niners, Eagles, the 1 versus the 2. In Philly. Who do you got?
I got music, man. All right. So, NFC Championship. Niners at Philly. This is going to be a very, very tough game. I will say that. But I'm going to go with the Eagles in this game. And it might be a very unpopular opinion because, listen, the 49ers, top to bottom, that roster is just studded, right? But the Eagles, their defense, probably the best in the league. I mean, there's two top defenses, to be honest with you. But you're looking at quarterbacks. One quarterback's a rookie quarterback, you know. He's going to have some limitations in terms of like comparing him to Jalen Hurts. I feel like Jalen Hurts has a little bit better advantage when it comes to running the football. In terms of passing the football, I think they're pretty much even, you know, from what I've seen from Brock Purdy so far and what I've seen from Jalen Hurts so far, and his small sample size of passing the football, kind of even there. But the defenses, man, and especially the secondaries, I feel like the Philly defense throws Brock Purdy a lot of weird looks and whatnot, kind of confuses him. Give me a low-scoring game, but give me the Eagles 24-19.
Okay. Actually, I'm right there with you. I want the Niners to win it all, but I think the Eagles are going to beat them. I think the home field advantage is going to play a huge part. Brock Purdy, I'm a fan of his. Fan of like a lot of like Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, but Juszczyk. It's just going to be hard, and I need Kyle Shanahan if he's going to win this game to coach his best game. But I just think, like you said, the Eagles defense, Bradbury, Slay, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in the back, like that secondary is going to be all over.
Oh yeah, Jordan Davis up front.
Yeah, I mean Hassan Reddick on the edge rushing. Give me the Eagles 27-24. Yeah. So now on the AFC.
Okay.
Bengals and the Chiefs. Once again, like you said, they beat them 3 straight times. 3 straight.
Yeah.
In Arrowhead.
Let's go.
I think the Bengals were the favorite by like 1 point last time I checked. This is big. Like Mahomes not being the favorite in Arrowhead is huge.
You know what? I heard somebody the other day call Arrowhead Burrowhead.
Okay.
You know? So for that reason, I'm going with the Bengals in this one, man. I think they're going to make it a 4-peat against the Chiefs. As we know, Mahomes is a little bit hobbled. I think what they'll probably do is, since Mahomes is definitely going to go into that game getting shot up with some sort of drugs in his ankle so he doesn't feel pain, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
By the time the second half, the fourth quarter comes around, if the game is close, I feel like what the Bengals do, they stop sending a lot of edge pressure. They send pressure up the middle, like stunts, things like that. Try to make Mahomes get on that leg. Try to make him run around once that pain medication is wearing off, you know, and see what he does. See if he's the same guy. So for that reason, and also, like I said, Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow. He's an ace of a quarterback, absolute stud, man. Just takes what the defense gives him every single time, and that's what got him to a Super Bowl last year. I think that's what's going to get him to a Super Bowl this year as well. So give me the Bengals over the Chiefs. I'm gonna say 27-21 in this one. Yeah.
Once again, I do agree with you. I think the Bengals are the best team right now in the league. I got the Eagles and the Bengals in the Super Bowl. I just don't see how this defense stopping their offense. I think the Ravens gave the blueprint on how to beat them. And to be honest, there's no defense in the AFC that can kind of compare to what the Ravens have, unfortunately. Even with our edge rush not getting, having star-studded like a Trey Hendrickson or like a Bosa or something like that. Right. Nobody can stop them the way we could or play as physical as we could. They don't have the secondary depth that we do. The number one corner in Marlon Humphrey, the safety in Marcus Williams, the slot corner and Kyle Hamilton that was playing, linebackers and Queen and Roquan. Like, the Chiefs have good linebackers, but who is going to be covering all their receivers? A rookie Trent McDuffie? Like, who else? Thornhill, Snead's banged up. I just don't see it. And I see the Bengals winning 31-24. Now, let me just say this. I do want a rematch. I would like to see the Niners and the Chiefs play again. I just don't see it happening. I don't.
Me neither, man. I'm thinking at this point, it's going to be Eagles versus Bengals. But it's going to be either way. Whatever matchup we do get, it's going to be great. I'm excited.
Best 4 teams
like you
left.
said, best 4 teams left. Most deserving 4 teams left as well. So shout out to all the teams that are playing this week, and shout out to all the fans of teams that are playing this week and that happen to be watching this video. Appreciate you guys for coming through. And with that being said, that's going to be the end of our pick segment. And that's the end of this Purple Rain Report. A 20-minute episode. Get in, get out for you guys on this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. Follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def. Follow this guy over here on Twitter at SimplyAs10, on Instagram at SimplyAs10.prod. Most importantly, Manscaped. You can go on manscaped.com, order yourself whatever you want, whether it be for you, your brother, your father, your cousin, your uncle, whoever it is, your friend. Order them something off of Manscaped, and listen, save yourself some money too. Use that code 20% off. PRP, 20% off, free shipping as well. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. And with that being said, I'm going to let my guy Alex take us out.
Thank you for coming through another Purple Rain Report. We love you. We appreciate you. And as always, stay positive, test negative. And one
And
more
never,
thing.
ever, 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 ever forget to call God, man. It's been another episode of the Purple Rain Report. We're going to catch you guys in the next one.